Today's topic is about the coordination complex or the coordination compounds. So to study the bonding involved as well as the properties of coordination complex, three theories were introduced. They are, the first one is the valence bond theory, that is the VBT. Then comes the crystal field theory, that is CFT. Then comes the molecular orbital theory, that is MOT. Today we are discussing about the valence bond theory, that is VBT. So let us discuss some of the postulates of VBT. So the first postulate says that the central metal ion must possess adequate number of empty orbital. That is, the metal ion, to form a coordinate bond with a ligand, it must possess adequate number of empty orbital so that the electron can be filled from the ligand. And it also says that the number of empty orbitals is equal to the coordination number of central ion. So total number of empty orbitals involved in the hybridization is equal to the coordination number. So let us understand by a simple compound, that is, consider a methane, that is CH4. We know that the hybridization of methane is sp3, where one s orbital and 3 p orbital are involved in the formation of covalent bond with the 4 hydrogen atom. So as the postulate says that the number of orbitals involved give the coordination number. So to calculate the coordination number, we have to add these orbitals. So the coordination number would be 4. So we know that the coordination number of methane is 4. That is, there are 4 hydrogen atoms that are bonded to the central carbon atom. Now the second postulate says that the d orbitals involved in the hybridization may be inner d orbital. If the inner d orbital is involved, it would be called as the low spin complex, and the the outer d orbital, if the outer d orbital is involved, it is called as the high spin complex. We will discuss in the later example. So the last postulate, which says that the empty orbital of metal overlaps with filled ligand orbital to form ligand metal coordinate bond. So it states that a metal orbital which is having a empty orbital, so electron is filled by the filled ligand orbital. This is the ligand orbital, this is the metal empty orbital. So it suggests that the metal is vacant and the ligand is donating the electron. So the metal and the ligand bond is purely electrostatic. According to VBT, the metal ligand bond would be purely electrostatic, or also called as the ionic bond. So according to VBT, the coordinate bond between the metal and ligand is ionic bond, because it states that the metal is having the empty vacant orbital. It doesn't have any electron in the orbital. The ligand is donating it the pair of electron, hence the metal ligand or bond according to VBT would be purely ionic. Now discussing the ligands, the ligand are classified into 3 types. They are strong ligands, average ligands, as well as the weak ligands. The strong ligands are the good electron donor to the metal atom. Then comes the average. Then comes the weak. Weak ligands are the bad electron donors. So the second point is, which is important, because the strong ligands pairs the electron in the central metal ion. That is, the d orbitals, if there are unpaired electrons present, due to the strong ligands, the pairing of the electrons take place. In the average ligands also, the pairing of the electron may or may not take place, but in the weak ligand, there is no pairing of electron takes place. That is, if there are unpaired electron present in the d orbital, they remain unpaired. There is no pairing of the electron takes place in the presence of weak ligands. Then the examples of strong ligand is COCN. For average, it would be ammonia, water, OH minus, and so on. For the weak ligands, the halogens, all the halogens act as a weak ligands. So these are the properties that can be analyzed through valence bond theory. The first property is the hybridization of the complex. The hybridization of the complex refers to the number of orbitals involved, that is the number of vacant orbitals involved in bonding with the ligand orbitals. These orbitals, these different orbitals combine together to form hybridized orbital, and the hybridization of a complex also gives us the information about the geometry as well as the structure of the metal complex. Then comes the magnetic nature of the metal, whether the metal is diamagnetic or paramagnetic. If the metal is paramagnetic, then the magnetic moment come into picture. That is, for the metal that is containing unpaired electron are paramagnetic, then the magnetic moment exists. So to calculate the magnetic moment, nu equals root of n into n plus 2 Bohr magneton. This is the formula to calculate the magnetic moment, where n is the number of unpaired electron that is present. Then comes the spin multiplicity. Spin multiplicity is calculated by 2s plus 1, where s is the spin quantum number. So for each unpaired electron, the spin value s would be plus half. So in this way, different property of the complex can be analyzed through valence bond theory. Let's apply the valence bond theory for tetracyanonickelate 2 ion. Here the nickel is in +2 oxidation state. As we can see, the electronic configuration of nickel, it would be argon 3d8 4s2. In nickel 2 plus, 2 electrons are removed from the s orbital, so it would be argon 3d8 4s0. If we consider nickel 2 ion, the 3d8, there are 2 unpaired electrons in the d orbital and s and p orbital are vacant. So when this cyano ligand will approaches the central metal, there are 4 cyano which approaches the central metal. We know that the cyano ligand is the strong ligand. Hence, whenever there is a presence of strong ligand, the unpaired electron gets paired up. So these two electrons will pair up in this fashion. So each ligand, we know that each ligand will donate a pair of electron. So there are 4 cyano ligand. So 4 pair of electrons are donated. So for 4 pair of electrons, we want 4 vacant orbitals. So 1 d orbital, 1 s and 2 p orbital involved in the hybridization. So they form dsp2, 4 hybrid orbital for the 4 pair of electrons to accumulate 4 pair of electrons from 4 Cn minus ligands. So the hybridization of the complex is dsp2. Here the hybridization is dsp2, hence the geometry of this complex would be square planar complex. So the geometry is square planar. If the hybridization would have been sp3 hybridized, then the geometry would have been tetrahedral. Now coming to the magnetic nature, as there are no unpaired electron present in the metal complex, hence the magnetic nature, it would be diamagnetic. It would be diamagnetic in nature. Coming to the magnetic moment, we know that the magnetic moment nu is given by root of n into n plus 2 Bohr magneton. So n is the number of unpaired electron. Here the n is 0 because there are no unpaired electron present, and the magnetic moment will also be 0. So in this way, we will apply the VBT for the metal complexes. Here is another complex, that is tetrachloridonickelate 2 ion. Here the nickel is in plus 2 oxidation state as we have discussed in the previous example. So the electronic configuration of nickel is argon 3d8 4s2, and for nickel 2 plus 2 electron is being removed from the s orbital. So in the nickel 2 there are 2 unpaired electrons present. As the chloride ligand approaches the nickel, we know that chloride is a halogen and the halogens are the weak ligands. As we know that as in weak ligands, the pairing of the d orbital in the metal doesn't happen, hence the unpaired electron remain as it is. Now we know that there are 4 chloride ligands that are approaching the nickel. So 4 pair of electrons are donating by the ligand to the metal. So 4 vacant orbitals are required. So 1 s orbital and 3 p orbital involve in the hybridization to form sp3 hybrid orbital. So 4 chloride ligand will donate 4 pair of electron to the sp3 hybrid orbital as follows. Now the hybridization would be sp3. So the geometry of the complex, we know that for sp3 it would be tetrahedral. And coming to the magnetic nature, in the metal complex there are 2 unpaired electrons present, hence it is paramagnetic in nature. Paramagnetic in nature. Coming to the magnetic moment, we know that nu equals root of n into n plus 2. As there are 2 unpaired electrons present, so n would be 2. So to calculate it, 2 into 2 plus 2, it would be root 8. So it would be 2.82 Bohr magneton. So as we have discussed in the previous example, for nickel cyanoligand, that is tetracyano, it is a low spin complex because pairing occurs and the inner d orbital involved in the hybridization. But here in the nickel tetrachloride, the outer orbitals are involved, hence it is a high spin complex. So that's it. Thank you.